Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. And I wanted to briefly get into this video. As you can see the title, this is off of H.O.D.C 12, or H.O.D.C camp. All right. Elder Karatazala. All right. How to determine the Hebrew Israelite New Year and Passover. All right. And this is, sort of a lesson getting on, the particular camps that are within Mashar Yashala and how they keep, their Passover, how they keep their Sabbaths. Because if you remember a few weeks back, there was a situation with a particular camp who's under, all right, the Mashra Yashala, the Sakari. And when Elder Barak did a video, you saw that he was frustrated, all right, that the particular camps who are under him keep their Passover and holy days on different days. All right, so this video was sent out about a week ago, and I listened to some of it, and come to find out what these men are teaching is that there's no way to understand, okay, when to keep the Passover, okay, without the book of Enoch, okay, going into the zodiac and all of these various different things. All right, now we know when you get the book of Revelation, the 22nd chapter, okay, it goes into the 12 months and the 12 manner of fruit and all of that. And we understand that, the zodiac, all right, is used for wicked here. But, once we get to the kingdom of heaven, we'll gain the full understanding of that in righteousness. Okay. But he's going all into it based upon what's written in the book of Enoch and making the argument that the only way, all right, to figure out, all right, how to have a new year and a Passover, okay, is by going into the book of Enoch, which is off, man. Okay, the Torah, okay, gives us the understanding of how to track our months, okay, and how to track our Passover, okay. It's very well documented in the Torah, okay, and that's what the scriptures talk about making of many books. Right now, the book of Enoch, I did a little research, and I came up with a few things that I found in the research. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me see here. Let's see here. Okay. The book of Enoch, it mentions Mount Sinai and Mount Hermon. All right. Which are things that, all right, weren't, in existence until after Enoch. All right. Enoch was before the flood. You see, now when you go into the book of Enoch, it mentions particular points in history that are accurate. All right. But it was not written. You can't attribute these writings to Enoch. There's a lot of bugged out things in the book of Enoch as well. Like, 5,000 feet tall men. Okay. 450 feet tall men. Okay. No. In the calendar that he received, okay, from what they say was the angel Uriel, it was not based upon the new moon observation. All right. So you're in rebellion, man. And you all are teaching a bugged out doctrine amongst other things, man. And we'll let him speak for himself. But the book of Enoch in the book of Watchers, has material from Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter. All right. The book of Numbers, it talks about Balaam, talks about some of the things that happened at the time of Daniel, Jeremiah. All right. First Enoch, the 56th chapter mentions the Parthians and the Medes, which were nations that weren't even created at the time of Enoch. So you can't attribute these writings to Enoch though we know there is a book of Enoch. Okay, there's many books, all right, in the Bible that are mentioned that we don't have, all right, but we have enough to ultimately have faith, okay? Now, do we use things that are secular history to validate certain things or to build our faith or to say, hey, it's dope to go into secular history and things, but we can't attribute, all right, particular things to particular men as what they wrote it. That's where you're going off, man. Okay, and the book of Enoch was never considered canon, man. Okay, here it is in the book of Enoch, First Enoch 71:13 through 14. Okay, and I have a website that actually goes into it. Okay, it's called Who is the Son of Man in First Enoch 7:14. When you go to it, this is what Enoch says. He says, in the heavens of heavens, he was greeted by God and 4 archangels. All right, now here's what it says. And at the head of days came with Michael and Raphael and Gabriel, all right, and Phanuel, and thousands and 10,000s of angels without number. And he came to me and greeted me with his voice and said to me, you are the Son of Man who was born for righteousness. Now we know the King of righteousness is Yahweh, man. And righteousness dwells on you, and the righteousness of the head of days will not forsake you. Okay? Now, he goes into it, but ultimately when you go into it, it's dealing with him as a messianic figure. All right? And Enoch is not the Messiah. Okay? That, amongst many other things that I've found in my research, are enough to prove that these writings are not attributed to Enoch. All right? Now, when you get the book of Jude, it tells you that Enoch prophesies of the coming of the Lord. All right, because as I said, there are books that are written that we don't have. All right, and here's a website going into it. All right, the books of the War of Lords, the book of Jasher, the manner of the kingdom, the Acts of Solomon. Okay, Chronicles of the Kings of Judah, Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Okay, and we're going to get all of those writings back. But what the Heavenly Father gave to us in the form of the Bible, the Old, the New Testament, the Apocrypha, which without the Apocrypha, where do you get the understanding of what happened with the Israelites in the Greek captivity? Because you have 4 beasts written about in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. Well, where do you get understanding of the 3rd beast? Huh? The Greeks. The leopard. What happened with the Israelites? Where do we get that history at? It's in the Apocrypha. Okay, amongst various other reasons. Hey, the Messiah celebrated the Feast of Dedication. Right? Where do you get that up? That's in the Maccabees. Okay? When the Lord delivered us from Edom. It literally says that. All right? First Maccabees or Second Maccabees chapter 4. The Annals of King David. Okay, and as a matter of fact, when you even get in the scriptures, okay, even when you go to the book of Revelation, the 10th chapter, and we'll get to him, just want to make a few points. The scriptures say, do not add to the book, man, but let's see here. Yep. Verse 3, Revelation 10, and he cried with a loud voice and said, all right, as when a lion roared, and when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up the things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. So we know that there's particular things that are not written for us to have, all right now. All right, there's even prophets, or the scriptures say they were prophets, okay, that prophesied that have no memorial, no writings, nothing is recorded of them. That's in the book of Sirach, the 44th chapter. So yes, there are writings and things that we don't have. All right, but with Enoch, there's far enough in the Holy Scriptures to give you an understanding of what you need to get and to understand his story, man, because he was beamed up which is an example of what's coming for the elect if we are obedient and walk with the Most High, man. All right, and can be delivered from the wickedness that's taking place in the earth, man. Okay, but when you add to the book, okay, the scriptures say none shall want her mate. Okay, so you can't create some other way or some outside source, okay, to try and mate with the scriptures to create a super doctrine, man. Trying to be too deep. And that's this guy. So let's go ahead and play him.
Or in the clavier. If you don't do that, I'm going to read this book here in Jubilee.
He's reading out of the book of Jubilee as well. So meanwhile, you know, these men are putting themselves on a pedestal as the head of this new government. But meanwhile, this is the type of shit that they got going on, man. Reading out all of these various different books, man. And we know what the scriptures say. We'll get it, all right, of what's going to happen unto him that adds unto and takes away. Because you would think you men would be, you know, you believe that the so-called or the mark of the beast is the chip. Where's your videos on that? Why ain't you talking about that? But you bringing Israel into further confusion, man.
It's going to be brief. Well, try to make it brief. This is the book of Jubilee, chapter 6 and verse 32. It says, "And command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and will constitute a complete year." This is a solar year.
And we didn't go by the solar, all right? We went by the lunar. And see, when you read the book of Enoch, the angel Uriel gave Enoch a calendar, all right, that was not based upon a lunar month, meaning the new moon is day one of the month. And we'll show you, according to the Bible, that it does give you a recollection of how to track time, how to find, you know, keep the Passover. Now, we're in an unperfected state. We're just rehearsing the righteous acts. It's not going to be perfect. This man has changed times, all sorts of things. Okay, so we do these things to the best of our ability. And as the scriptures say, judge no man, all right, in a new moon or the eats and, you know, meats and things like that, all right, which are the things associated with the sacrifice and the, you know, and the keeping of the Passover and the, you know, these particular holy days, right? But, okay, we can't go to these outer sources and all of this pseudo shit. The book of Jubilee was a lesser Genesis tied to the Ethiopic. You know, get out of here, man.
"And they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out of them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. But if thou do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment," which commandment? The commandment that the angel Uriel gave to Enoch.
So the angel Uriel gave a commandment to Enoch to follow a sun-based calendar, right?
So if you don't follow this commandment or this cycle that's written here in Enoch, because you're not going to find this in the Bible. You're not going to find this in the 66 books, right? He said, if you don't do this, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order. And they will disturb all the seasons and the years, and they will neglect their ordinances. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years. So that's what's happening to this year. Brothers didn't follow this. So now they have their past.
So now, I mean, any camp that's under them, Y'all gonna have to get with, the book of Jubilee, the book of Enoch. All right. And this madness this man is talking about.
Passover in March. But the real New Year is coming up on April the 13th. That's the real New Year. Right? So let me read down a little bit.
And we'll go back to him. Now let's get the book of Numbers, the 10th chapter, in the 10th verse. All right. It says, also in the days of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginning of your months, ye shall blow, all right, with the trumpets over your burnt offering, all right, and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am Yahweh, your God. Okay. Now we're going to look up. All right. Because what was the standard of day one? What made day one, according to the ancient Hebrew Israelites? Okay. As the scriptures say, seek ye the old paths. Where in the scriptures does it say you got to go to Uriel? Okay. The calendar that Uriel gave Enoch to understand these things. That's not written. Moses, all right, as a matter of fact, we'll get that in Exodus, the 12th chapter, was given those under that understanding, man. Okay, but when you look up the beginning of your months, the word month, okay, is H.O.D.C. Okay, new moon, all right, monthly, the first day of the month, lunar month. Okay, and all you have to do is just type in new moon, okay, in the scriptures, and you'll see that it's a heavy presence. Okay, even in the kingdom, what does it say? In the kingdom, okay, it says, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, okay, because the Sabbath is dictated, okay, by the new moon. Day one, if day one, okay, is the new moon, how else can the Sabbath be dictated? If we all understand that day one of a Hebrew calendar, okay, is the new moon, how else can the Sabbath be dictated? Okay, but the 6 working days and the 7th day at evening is the Sabbath for that month. It's simple. The new moon comes in, all right, and this is to the best, and ultimately we'll get it all perfect in the kingdom. All right, but this is just a basic understanding of our history and how we did things. The new moon on Esau's Gregorian calendar can fall on a Wednesday night, a Tuesday night. Okay, so let's say it came in on a Monday night. Well, that month, okay, the Sabbath would be Monday sundown to Tuesday sundown. Okay? Point blank period, man. Okay? That will be the Sabbath for that month, all right, until the next new moon came. And then ultimately, that's how you would dictate the next month. Okay? So from one new moon to another, and to one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come and worship before me. Okay? And when you get Exodus, okay, the 12th chapter, in the first verse, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month in your year. The first month in your year, man. And we never went by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Just like you got particular Hebrew Israelite camps, all right, that try to, base the resurrection upon, okay, the Gregorian calendar. But their dumb asses don't even understand that at the time that the Messiah was on the scene, the Romans went by the Julian calendar, which was based upon 8 days. And which calendar did the Messiah follow? Because at that time, the Julian calendar, day one was Saturn's day. So you telling me the Messiah abandoned, which he was perfect according to the law, all right? He abandoned, okay, the actual calendar and followed Esau's calendar, that would be a breaking of the law. You see, that would mean he was with sin, right? Hey, at the time of the Passover, let me see here. At the time of the Passover with Yahushua, as a matter of fact, let's see here. Let's type in first day. Should be in Matthew 26. Yep. These are Israelites keeping their customs, man. All right. In Rome, just like we're doing, to the best of our ability, of course. All right. This is Matthew 26 and 17. Now, the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, okay, the disciples came to him. Now, see, right here it says the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. How would they have dictated that? Okay, by Esau's calendar? Okay, by a sun-based calendar, or by the lunar calendar, because they were keeping the laws, man. Okay, Exodus 12 and 2 says, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year unto you. Okay, and when you read down, you would keep the Passover, right? And what would happen? All right, on the 14th day, it says, and ye shall keep it unto the 14th day, because we went day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and so forth, man. And ye shall keep it until the 14th day. So right here, we have a clear understanding of how to keep the Passover, how to determine our months. And ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it until the evening. Okay? And the 14th day at sundown was technically the 15th day. Let's type in 15th day. '15th day. And on the 15th day of the same month, all right, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread unto the Lord. 7 days must ye eat unleavened bread. The 15th day of the 7th month. Okay, because the 15th day was technically the 14th day at sundown. Okay, which was ultimately another Sabbath. Okay, that's why the 8th day. Let's type in 8th day. And on the 8th day, his foreskin shall be circumcised. You would be technically, you would be circumcised on a Sabbath. Okay. It says, the 8th day he shall take 2 lambs. The 8th day, you see the first day, the 8th day, the 15th day. Those are the new moon, which is likened unto the Sabbath, and then that dictates the weekly Sabbath. Okay, which is the 8th day, which is the 7th day at sundown. 7 days shall she offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And the 8th day it shall be a holy convocation. Just showing you that we went by day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 1 was the new moon, man. Point blank period, man. All right. Going back to Exodus 12. Going back to Exodus 12, all right, it says, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. Let's look up the word months. Okay, it's the same thing, man. All right, H.O.D.C. All right, H.O.D.C, new moon, month, monthly, the first day of the month, the lunar month, not a solar. All right, and when you get Sirach, the 43rd chapter, okay, It says he made the moon to serve in her seasons for a declaration of times, all right, and a sign of the world. All right, he made the moon to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. We didn't go based upon the sun. So that calendar in Enoch, which had elements based upon the Greek calendar, could not be what Enoch followed, because Adam was technically given the law first, man. Okay, he was, the breath of life was breathed into him, as it says in Second Ezra, the third chapter. He was commanded to love the way of the Lord, which he transgressed. Eve first, all right, white. So they would have known this. From the moon is the sign of feast, and a light that decreaseth in her perfection. So when it's in its perfection, when it's full, it then decreases, man. Right? You got particular people saying that the new moon is the full moon. No, it's not new when it's full. You're not in your perfection when you're a baby. All right? You grow into your perfection, right? To where you're able to do things on your own. All right. Well, the moon, okay, it decreaseth in her perfection, right? And there's cycles. You can look it all up. It says the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing. All right. So it increases, it decreases. Okay. Wonderfully in her changing. Okay. Being an instrument. Okay. Now, when it's a new moon, it increases. Okay. When it's a full moon, it decreases. Okay. And it's not flat, it's round. All right. It says the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. You see, the heathen went based on, all right, a sun worship and based upon the sun, man. Come on, man. So we have more than enough in the scriptures to prove that we went based upon a lunar calendar, man. And that day one of a Hebrew month was the new moon. All right. As a matter of fact, let's get Psalms 104. And it's simple. I mean, the simplicity in the Messiah is not something that you have to go super deep into, man. Psalms 104:19. He appointed the moon for season. All right. The sun knoweth his going down. Look that up in the NLT. You dudes are bugging, man. You made the moons to mark the season, and the sun knows when to set. So the sun didn't determine our seasons, man. It was the moon. So this dude is off, man.
For this reason I command, this is verse 38. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons, the seasons, Sabbaths, and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. Right? So basically what is happening is brothers are keeping an abominable day according to the book. You continue reading in the book of Jubilee. You know, why? Because they're following the nations. The balancing of an egg, that was never a tradition of Israel. That came from the Chinese. However they came up with that, somebody probably slipped upon it and they did that, you know. But that's not a tradition of Israel, balancing an egg or balancing a broom. That caught on to Americans years later after the Chinese did it, you know. But brothers would rather follow the Chinese tradition rather than to follow what the Most High gave us, right?
And we just read what the Most High gave us.
So let's get into the new years, the years that the Most High gave us. The counting, and I'm going to show you exactly.
But there you have it.
20th.
There you have it out of their mouth. They're teaching out of the book of Enoch and the book of Jasher, man. All right, let's get the judgment on that. So we don't have enough in the Torah to give us a foundation of how to go about keeping our holy days. We have to go into the book of Jasher and the book of Enoch, which I believe is also somewhere in the book of Enoch that Nimrod, killed Esau. Or Esau killed Nimrod, one of those, but they weren't even around at the same time. Let's get it in a red letter. Let's see here. Yep. Revelation 22:18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, okay, God shall take away his part out of the book of life. Barack Obama's the Antichrist. You guys teach a lot of weirdo stuff, man. Okay? And out of the holy city and from the things that are written in this book, man. So you're adding to the book. As I said earlier, none shall want her mate. Okay? You can't mate this book, all right, with the book of Enoch. Now, when you get the book of Jude, you get that real quick. When you get the book of Jude, it does let you know in verse 14, and Enoch, also the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these things, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of saints to execute judgment upon all and to convince all, all right, that are ungodly among them, all right, to all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Okay. And what was happening around the time of Enoch? You can see it lead up, okay, until the time of Noah. The sons of God were going off, man. Remember, this is the descendant of Adam. It said the seventh from Adam. Okay. He's of the seed of Adam through Seth, one of the sons of God, man, who he stuck to the righteous way. Learned man, dedicated one. You see? He prophesied of the coming of the Lord to destroy. All right, Jake, man. To destroy, wickedness, man, and sinners. All right, so we know that there is a book of Enoch. All right, but what's written in there is not needed to ultimately attain salvation. What's needed to attain salvation is written in what we have. Okay, the Bible, the Old and New Testament, including the Apocrypha. That's it. That's all we need to get understanding of everything needed to receive salvation. Now, is there more? Absolutely. All right. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. I believe it's in the book of Sirach. 42:17. The Lord have not given power to the saints to declare all his marvelous works. All right. So right now, certain things are hidden. Okay. We have a very abridged. Okay. You got to think when Moses went up, all right, to the mountain and received the first 5 books. All right. He went, the chariot, he received the law. All right. He received the Torah. Okay. he broke it down in a way that is written for us is in a way that you have to be spiritual. You have to have a key. The key, you got to have the key, which ultimately to get that hidden manna, to put the pieces together. In the beginning, a lot of people think that it's just saying in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. But when you go into that, that's the history of our legacy as the sons of God, starting in the heavens under Yahweh in order. Gives you the history of Adam. It goes into us being, made a nation, Abraham, all of that. Okay, that's what's needed ultimately, with the prophets, the prophecies, Yahweh coming, the prophecies of his second coming. All of those things are enough, all right, for the gospel to be preached. You see, all of these extra things, as a matter of fact, get Ecclesiastes 12. And further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end. There's all types of stuff. You got the Gospel of Thomas, where the Yahweh Shah supposedly pushed somebody off of a balcony and then blamed it on somebody else. Nah, man, all of this stuff is absolutely madness. Okay, there's so much more that we're going to get. We're going to see the whole story. We're going to see everything as a movie, but all of those writings, everything. And I speak as a man when I say that. I believe that the Heavenly Father is going to show us, the beginning, okay, to the end as it was written, and we're going to get all of those writing backs. We're going to get all of the understanding of who we were in our past lives. We're going to get our true names. There's going to be so much more. All right, but we have to go through the straight gate to get all of that. So we'll see what was really written in the book of Enoch. We'll see Enoch's actual walk. We'll see him getting beamed up. We're going to get all of that, man. But be admonished, my son, of making many books. All right, there is no end. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. Okay, the Holy Scriptures have everything we need to understand Enoch, to understand Noah, okay, to put the pieces together, man, through the Spirit. But my child, let me give you further advice. This is advice from Solomon, man. Be careful of writing, for writing books is endless, and much study wears out the flesh, man. And all of these different books that have just popped up out of nowhere in history that have been attributed with the Bible, it bugs people out, man. 5,000 feet men, that's in the book of Enoch. You mean there were men on the earth that were 5,000 feet tall? Now we know men were bigger, taller, but damn. The Nephilim seed, all of that madness. That's unscriptural, man. The Nephilim are ultimately the fallen ones, Adam's descendants who fell from their grace through following idols, man. Follow the idols of the other nations, man. Laying with their women, the same thing Solomon did, the same thing that happened at the time of Nehemiah. Okay, all Nephilim means is the fallen ones, man. The scriptures say, ye are gods, but ye should fall like men. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. I didn't want to go too deep into it, but just to show you, as the scriptures say, mark them, which cause divisions, man. And this is an offense. Romans 16:17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. All right, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them, all right, which you have, which, all right, walk so as ye have us as an example. So you mark, all right, our people who going off, and avoid them. Okay, and then you mark the perfect man in the spirit, man, who are examples of teaching sound doctrine, man, and faithful in going out, even in their older age. All right? Because you go to the H.O.D.C camp. Now, they got brothers going out, right? But you don't never see really their elders going out. David was on the battlefield with his men.